Hey everyone, I'm Sabha, a security architect. Welcome back to Security Controls Through an Architect Lens series, where we look at security controls based on how they actually work in real architectures, not just on the configuration screens or the vendor slides, right? So today's control is conditional access, and this is where security stops being static and starts becoming adaptive, right? So authentication proves identity, as we all know. Authorization decides the actions. Conditional access decides whether access should be trusted right now, right? So in modern environments, identity alone is not enough. A valid login can still be high risk. So what problem are we trying to solve here? Many organizations believe password plus MFA equal security, right? But attackers regularly bypass this using phishing or your token theft or session hijacking like this. Imagine an employee successfully completes MFA from a compromised device. Technically, authentication succeeded, but should access still be trusted? Conditional access exists to evaluate risk dynamically before access is granted. So, where conditional access sits in the architecture? Architecturally, conditional access sits between authentication and authorization. Identity providers evaluate signals and apply policies before applications even see the request, right? So, think of it as a decision checkpoint. Authentication says who you are, then conditional access asks whether the situation is safe enough to continue or not, right? Now, conditional access, the decisions, what we spoke about, right, that rely on context. Context like who is the user, what device are they using, where are they connecting from, then is the behavior really usual, right? So, for instance, a login from a managed corporate laptop in the office may pass smoothly. The same account logging in from an unknown device from another country maybe should trigger stronger verification or blocked entirely, right? So that's your conditional access all about. So based on risk, policies take different actions, right? So one might be require MFA, block access completely, or allow limited access only for a particular time period, or require a complaint device to verify again, or trigger step up authentication during some sensitive actions. So access becomes conditional instead of automatic. So the architectural value of your conditional access, this control fundamentally changes the security architecture because trust is no longer tied to the network location only, right? So being inside corporate network no longer means you're trusted. So conditional access enables a practical zero trust by continuously evaluating risk rather than assuming the safety, right? So that's your conditional architecture's architectural value all about. Now, coming to some common implementation failures, right? So this is where many deployment usually fails. Organizations create too many exceptions, or internal network remain fully trusted. Service accounts bypasses all the policies, right? And sometimes policies run only in monitoring mode without a proper enforcement. So at that point, conditional access becomes visibility instead of protection, right? So you end up seeing, okay, there are something which is going wrong, but you don't protect from that. So now, what exactly conditional access does not fix? This is important as well, right? So conditional access is powerful, as we discussed. We know like what it's supposed to do, what all magic it will show in a security architecture, but it is limited as well, right? So it does not fix excessive permissions if you already configure. It does not replace your authorization. It cannot secure if your application is vulnerable by itself. So it controls entry conditions, not your application behavior itself, right? So as usual, some architects warning: trust should never be permanent. Access granted once should not mean trusted forever, right? We should verify it frequently. And modern attacks focus on stealing sessions after login, right? So architecturally, conditional access must be continuous, enforced, and integrated with monitoring. Otherwise, you're only checking a risk at the door while problems happens completely inside. So that's conditional access from a architectural perspective. So this video is part of my security controls through an architect's lens series on SecureTerminus. So where we break down security one control at a time. I'm Sabah. See you in the next one.